Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Just Listening Podcast. I'm your host, Alyssa, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, something that kind of hits close to home. Um, but first time ever talking about it, and especially being by myself talking about it, because today obviously I don't have a special guest, but um, yeah, let's just get right into it. So, we're going to be talking about weight loss, weight gain, basically my journey with how I dealt with it, whether that's the healthier route or the not so healthier route. Um, yeah, I think the biggest thing for me um, when I'm speaking about this is it's really hard because I grew up for the most part like pretty overweight. I was the skinniest out of all my cousins, and weighed the least, at least when I talk about skinny, when I was really young, like an infant. But after that, I found myself to be more like the heaviest out of them. um and I think it's, I don't know, I just handled my weight a little bit differently. See, the thing is, Filipinos bully you. They bully you. And I'm talking about you titas, titos, who always want to comment about my weight, making little jokes here and there. I mean, sometimes it's funny, but like I think there comes a certain point in your life where you kind of just get sick of it. Um and that was me. I think there came a certain point where I was so tired of being told like, hey, you need to lose some weight, or like, hey, like you gained a couple pounds. And it was definitely something like you don't want to hear. So when I talk about them bullying you, they will bully you. um there's like this tendency to bully about like your looks, how much you weigh, if you got a new piercing, like there's like the littlest things you will get bullied. The biggest thing you'll get bullied about is your profession. So when I decided to switch majors, obviously I didn't get the best reaction. And that's that's like just being honest. Like I think, we've all heard the stereotypes of Filipinos being a nurse, or like at least in the medical profession. So my major not really necessarily being um totally medical, because it can be medical. um I did get a different response. So like growing up and hearing all of this, you kind of don't have the guidance or like somebody to look towards, um on how to like lose weight, or in like other cases people who are told they need to gain weight. Like there's no guidance, because like everyone in your family um wants to clown on you for your weight instead of helping you out, which I never really understood. Like, okay, Tito, you gained a couple pounds too, but I'm not gonna say anything about that. I'm just kidding. But so without having like a figure who really teaches you how to lose weight instead of like mocking you, I kind of did it on my own. So when I was in high school, junior year, I kind of looked in the mirror, and I think this was like the biggest I've ever been. I was almost hitting about 200 pounds, and it was getting scary because I was, you're a junior in high school. I was about what, like 16, 17? I think that's, yeah. And, you know, you shouldn't be that, I'm not going to say you shouldn't be that big, but it was alarming to me that I was that big. So eventually I started going to the gym, and I went like an unhealthy amount of times because I just wanted to lose the weight fast. Um, like looking back at pictures during that time, I could tell like I don't know if I was just going through it or what was happening in my life during that time, but I definitely felt like I just felt really, I didn't feel like myself, basically. And so going through that time period, I was going to the gym about, I want to say like 5 times a week. Every time school would end, the gym wasn't too far from where I used to live. So I would walk there or get a ride there. And then if I get a ride there, I would walk back home. If I walk there, usually I get a ride back home. I'll meet up some friends occasionally, but not only was I there 5 times a week, I was also there for about, I would say, 2 hours. And I was hitting weights. I was doing maybe like only 30 minutes of cardio. And I think that helped me a lot, just doing a small amount of cardio, but um, high intensity cardio. And I think at this time I was kind of just like, it's getting like boring. It's not fun. It just feels like a routine. Like I know that at the end of the day, like I'm gonna go to the gym. People knew that I was gonna be at the gym, so if I wasn't answering, it was because my phone was in the locker. Like I was on a mission to lose this weight. Um, so I would say I lost about like 20 pounds. Dropped a shirt size to a size medium, which is still fits me now. So I'm still glad I haven't gotten to like become a little bit bigger. But I now that okay, so that happened during like freshman year. So junior year, senior year, I was really heavy on that, going to the gym all the time. And then once freshman year hit and I was using the gym at my school, because it was so big and just because it was like literally walking distance, I would say not even 5 minutes away. I didn't really make it as a routine, but I was still like still keeping up with it. So I wasn't too. Uh, I would say I was still. I didn't get that freshman 15 that everyone got because I was always at the gym or like out busy, so I didn't really have time to eat. When it came to sophomore year of college, my second year, it was it was so busy that I don't think I ever stepped in the gym. My second year, yeah. I was so busy. I was doing so many things. I was in an internship. I think I had like 15 units at the time. I started working, so it was just really busy. And it wasn't healthy either because I, at this time, I believe my second year is when I moved to my new place. So I didn't even have time to cook, even though I was in a brand new place. It was just really hard to find healthy habits to be able to do when you're not with your parents who can make you a meal, and then when you come home you already have a meal. You're on your own and you need to fend for yourself. And when you're in different curriculars, you're working and going to school, you're in the library late night, there's no way you could possibly eat healthy when you're stressed all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that was second year. Third year, it got a little bit better, but I started becoming active in my sorority, so I was still really busy. And then I also, you know, started drinking and like drinking heavy too because I had a lot of friends at this time. Started meeting new people, so you go to like different parties, different hangouts and stuff like that. So like um I think my biggest part of this when I was together with different people, it's like, oh hey, let's grab a drink here and there. So I did start gaining the weight, and that was like just last year. And recently I looked in the mirror. I'm like, oh damn! I'm like, I look like junior year me. And so now currently I'm just trying to find ways that I can, you know, feel good without feeling like I'm just doing this so I don't have to hear anything from my Filipino bullies. You know, and it sucks because but I don't know, I'm a strong believer in the fact that bullying creates character. If I feel like if they never really taunted me about my weight or like people never brought it up, I would have thought it was okay as far as like for me, right? And I would have just stayed that way. And like there's a lot of body positivity out there, and however you decide to go about that's like up to you. But for me, it was hard to be positive when you're at a certain weight and you feel like it's becoming to a point where it's not even just about your looks. It's about, I don't know if I'm healthy or not because I don't remember the last time I went to the doctors, or like I'm breathing differently, I'm sleeping more, I'm avoiding ways to be active. So during all this time, I just felt like, you know, I could change my lifestyle. And fast forward to like this pandemic, I would admit the first couple of months were rough because I wasn't working anymore, or if I was working, I wasn't working like much. So the hours that I did have, I was eating okay, but when I didn't, I was at home and I would literally just buy DoorDash all the time. And so I was so like funny story is like I would try to avoid the $3 small order fee, right? That basically is if you don't reach their minimum, like say their minimum is 15, you have to pay $3. And I was like, I'm not gonna pay $3 for nothing. I'm gonna buy like another large fry. And there was an air fryer at a house what the house that I was staying in, and I would just pop them in the air fryer the next day and like, you know. So it became like an unhealthy habit, I would say in the beginning of the year, which I don't know if I would say that like I'm grateful for it because that kind of made me realize like, hey, wake up, like you gotta keep moving because there's no like you're not walking to like a bus stop anymore, you're not walking to go see you're not walking to like the BART station or anything like that, you're literally just at home. So this was kind of a wake up call for me, like, hey, you gotta get active again. So at that point I was just like, yo, like what can I try? So I think in the beginning, oh no, I've had it for a while. I had a boxing little thing that you could just punch back and forth. But it was for kids, so I needed to get sand in order for it to stay down. Um, and I never did that. So it was just like sitting in our garage collecting dust. Eventually, I just sold it to the new people who were moving there. Um, but I tried that for a while, and then it came with a jump rope, and I was like, okay, let's try it. So I tried the jump rope, but it was like too small because, like I said, for kids, it's like for a 13-year-old. So it is like even it's not for your height, and so like and plus in Daly City, all the houses are like on hills. So my garage thing, um, to go in it. Okay, so backstory: the garage is also super creepy. So I had to open the garage door in order to not feel as like something's gonna get me, come out of the closet and get me. So I had to open the garage door and basically have other people watch me work out and work out with something that's made for a freaking 13-year-old. So at that point, I was just like over it. I was ready to come back home. And I didn't know what life back home was going to be because I haven't been in SoCal for like 3 years. So I had no idea, like, okay, being here for X amount of days, X amount of months, maybe even like years, like how's that gonna like what's gonna change? So at that point I was definitely just about, I just gotta do it. So I moved back home, started swimming. So that really helps because it's fun and I love being in the water, like I've said before, like I love it. Um I swam. I tried doing treadmill. Running's just not for me. I don't know what it is, but it's just not fun to me. I've tried it because I've tried this zombie run app, and basically with the zombie run app, it's like you're listening to a story time of like a zombie chase. So they would tell you like, oh, zombies are like 500 feet away, and then you have to run as fast as you could, and like it was fun, and that made me kind of like running in a sense. But what I'm up to now is like jump roping. I've seen, so basically how I found jump roping is obviously I used to do it before because it burns the most calories as far as cardio goes. So I've done it before and I've done it many times, but I found a friend who he constantly posts jump roping videos, and I was like that, I mean, it looks cool, but like, do people still stay on it? And he was like doing different tricks. I saw his weight loss journey, and it was like crazy. Obviously, there's stuff that you like do with the jump roping. It's not just jump roping. You fix your diet. You add different exercises to that. It's not solely just a jump rope. But I was just so amazed by it. I had to buy it. So I looked on the website. I'm like, wow, this is $100. And I'm like, I'm not gonna pay for $100 jump rope. Like, what? I was like, well, who would do that? And then I was just like, All right, look at it as like a gym membership. When you buy a gym membership, say you buy it at Costco and you buy it for about $200 to $300. When you buy this gym membership, you are obliged to basically go all the time because you bought it and it was so expensive. So that kind of motivated me because if I was going to keep working out and keep doing all these things, I need to be able to keep myself accountable. So that buying this expensive jump rope, it was able to keep me accountable, and I've started doing this thing called Think Fit Thursdays so I can keep myself on schedule. Like, hey, it's Thursday, you got to get to it. Obviously, I work out throughout the week, but I don't really post it on social media. But Thursdays, I do. um and I think now I'm starting to also just block out every negative thing I hear, whether it be about my body, whether it be about like what I'm doing with my life, how I'm living my life, the steps that I'm taking to better myself. Like, I'm just blocking out all that negativity because I realize, see, the thing is also too, going back to Filipino bullies, I just let go of a lot of people who aren't like beneficial to my life, and just make unnecessary comments. I just straight out don't talk to them. And if the thing is like too, if they do come around, because there's some people that I have to keep in contact with, reasons that I just won't explain, but I just make small talk with them. I don't try to be their friend. I don't try to be well acquainted with them. And then when I do be looking like a French fry instead of a potato, um, I'll look back at like you. You were constantly the reason why I wanted to change. So thank you, but also I don't like you. So like, I don't know, like it seems really harsh, but when you grow up having to hear all of that, having to brush it off, eventually you get sick of it. And it's something that like I'm just sick of. Sorry about that. But so yeah, I just kind of cut those people out, don't really talk to them. And if I do talk to them, it's small talk and only because I have to. But I don't. So when we talk about health in general, it's not even just your physical health, it's like your mental health as well. Like, when you when you kind of go through that trauma and you kind of live with that kind of trauma, it affects your mental health. And the thing is, they don't realize that because they're a different generation. So your biggest bet is either you could sit there and waste your time talking to them about it, or you could just let it go and eventually like prove them wrong. And I mean, I'm not doing this in order to prove anyone wrong. That's not, see, that's not the thing. But like, I definitely kind of want to laugh in their face after I'm able to show you that like I could do it. I didn't need you. I didn't need you to help me because all you did was taunt me. So yeah, I think that a lot of what I went through kind of built who I was, and I'm hella grateful for it. I wish things could have been like a little bit differently of how I approached my past. Um, but it's totally fine because we're here now. So it's definitely helped me become the person that I am today. And without all those struggles and without this realization, I don't think I would be where I am today. And I'm still trying to obviously stay on this journey and stay on like losing the weight, but it it couldn't have been done without the people who also support me. So enough about our bullies. But I just want to thank everyone who's kind of been on this journey with me. They've seen like me hit my lows, seen me hit my highs, and at the end of the day, we're still there to support me, knowing that at the end of the day, I could do it. You know, um, I do appreciate all the support and people who do watch out for not only my physical health but also my mental health. Um, it's much appreciated, and I, I know that they'll always be there to ride for me because you just know when you know. But I really do appreciate people who only are there to uplift me because those are the type of people that I want in my life. You gotta let go of people who are negatively impacting your life. And I get it if they're there to motivate you and you don't care what people say, but eventually it gets to you. So definitely keep watch for those who are there to support you, whether that's your physical, mental journey or whatever it may be. But remember who's been by your side when you were not your best. I remember people who would really stick by me when they knew that like I probably wasn't like always there, or like I wasn't the fittest, or I'm still not the fittest, but I still see people who rock with me and who are there to cheer me on the way. So thank you for those who are listening, and especially for those supporting this podcast. Thank you for giving me listens, and I'm not doing this to make money off of it. If I make money, that's cool, but that's not really what I'm trying to do with this podcast. At the end of the day, I really just want to be able to kind of have conversations, like conversations with myself, manifest different things, and then also just be able to talk to other people as well. And I've had a couple of special guests, but definitely stay tuned for who I have next. Very important people in my life. But as always, thank you for listening. And at the end of the day, be safe, cut out the negativity, and I'll see y'all on the next episode of Just Listening Podcast. See ya. Bye.